If you thought Chris Pratt had his hands full fighting off dinosaurs, just wait till he's fighting off aliens 30 years in the future to save the world. I'll let you know if the Tomorrow War is one you should be watching this July 4th weekend right after this. Hello, everyone. It's the Outlaw John Rocha back with another review for you here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm excited to talk about this film, The Tomorrow War. This one comes to us from director Chris McKay, who did the Lego Batman movie. He's got the Lego Batman movie 2 coming up next year, and he's listed as the director for the Nightwing project and the Johnny Quest project. But then again, your guess is as good as mine about whether we're going to see those projects actually come to fruition and be up on our screens or up on our TV screens as streaming choices. All right, the basic premise of this movie is that human beings have to fight this war, the Tomorrow War, 30 years into the future, fighting off these aliens that are dubbed the White Spikes. These aliens are essentially an uglier, whiter, more brutal version of the Quiet Place aliens, if that's possible. And the scenes they show of them killing human beings is pretty gory, so settle in and get ready for that. Certainly more gory than anything we've seen in either of the two Quiet Place movies. Anyway, so how do we find out that this is 30 years into the future? Well, we catch up with Dan Forster. That's Chris Pratt's character. He's a high school biology teacher. He's got a daughter who is played by Ryan Kira Armstrong. Her name is Murray, and Betty Gilpin plays his wife. We find out that he is a former military guy. He served 2 tours in Iraq. But as they're all settling down to kind of watch a football game on television, and by football I mean soccer, during this Christmas party, out of nowhere there's this huge disturbance in the stadium, a la like the Dark Knight Rises. Right in the middle of the field, all these soldiers come out of what looks like a time portal. They're led by the sergeant that is played very well, Lieutenant Hart, by Jasmine Matthews, and she essentially tells everyone on the planet that the Earth has just 11 months to exist, and explains to them what has been going on. And it's a war that's happening 30 years in the future. So she's saying they have to recruit human beings from this present time, shoot them through a time portal 30 years into the future to fight off these white spikes and find a way to keep the Earth alive. Dan Forster gets essentially drafted. Sam Richardson gets drafted. Edwin Hodge gets drafted. We see a number of people getting drafted out into the future, and then we see them being getting trained, and then being sent into the future quicker than they had anticipated. But before they get sent, we also get a little more of an interaction between Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons playing Chris Pratt's father, who is essentially kind of what Chris Pratt views him as, a deadbeat dad. So they all get sent into the future to fight off these white spikes, and then we get a sequence of events of constant violence and battles with these white spikes. Visually incredible stuff, so I will give it credit for that. And then eventually they figure out what they need to do to stop the white spikes. I'll stop there. I'm not going to ruin too much of the movie in case you want to see this thing. What I'll tell you is this: I really enjoyed the movie overall as one of those kind of like sit back, don't judge it too hard, and enjoy the charm of Chris Pratt. I haven't seen him be this charming in quite some time in a film, and he seems really in control of this movie, really settled into this role of Dan Forster, and he plays off Yvonne Strahovski really well. She is in the future. We find out that she is his daughter that's grown up. I'm not spoiling anything for you. That's in the premise of this film, and they work together to find a way to try to stop these white spikes. Yvonne Strahovski, we rarely get to see her on screen in a big feature film, so it's nice to see her stand out in this as well. If you're a casting agent, if you're a director or producer, you're not looking at Yvonne Strahovski coming out of this film, you need to take another look. This is a fantastic actress. I know she's great in Handmaid's Tale, certainly fantastic in Chuck, but there's a lot more to this woman as an actress that needs to be utilized by some directors and producers out there with their feature film. There's a lot of emotional connection here between him and J.K. Simmons, certainly seeing the arc of their story as father and son that is fractured and how they find their way to possibly come back together. Certainly some fracture as well between Yvonne Strahovski and Chris Pratt, because remember, he is transported 30 years in the future from the time when she's 7 years old. So how much time did he miss? How do they reconnect? Is it possible? All of that gets explored here. So basically, this is a father-daughter story amidst all the, and father-son story amidst all this madness of this sci-fi situation happening where aliens are trying to destroy the Earth. Is this groundbreaking? No. Have you seen this before in a number of other movies? Sure you have. But is there something that kind of separates this one a little bit as something you could spend 2 hours and 20 minutes watching? Yes, I do enjoy all the actors in this movie. Also, what really helps the film is there are some nice moments of humor. Sam Richardson, who is, so supremely funny in Veep, and was it The Detroiters or something like that? That show he had on Comedy Central. Really funny actor, and he works well as an unusual partner to Chris Pratt's Dan Forrester. Yes, he makes his cracks, but he's also intelligent. He's a science nerd, and he talks too much at times, but it works within the construct of the film. Edwin Hodge is great. Edwin Hodge, you're gonna get Aldous Hodge vibes when you're watching Edwin Hodge acting. You're probably gonna be like, why does that sound familiar? Why does that voice sound familiar? Well, because it's Aldous Hodge's brother, so they've got kind of the same speech patterns when they're delivering their lines, but he is good as well in this movie. And overall, throughout, that's what you're hanging your hat on here, is enjoying these actors, enjoying what they're bringing to these roles and the connections that they're making. Does the script let them down at times? Yes, especially when you get to some of the sciencey lab stuff. It gets a little bit tedious, a little bit boring. Is it a little too long? Yeah, it does feel like the film should have stopped around the 2-hour mark, and then we get these extra 18 minutes, and I won't ruin what those extra 18 minutes are, but it does feel like it's kind of tacked on. All right, I give this film about 3 cowboy hats, maybe 3.5 on a good day, but about 3 cowboy hats overall. This is one you can watch, certainly enjoy watching. It's, as I said, it's not a great film, but it's a good film. It could have been a lot worse. Trust me, I've seen some bad sci-fi movies, and this is not one of those. So if you're looking to, kind of sit back and relax and watch a sci-fi film that's about 2 hours and 18 minutes with credits, then do yourself a favor and watch this one and enjoy The Tomorrow War on Amazon Prime. It's out now for you to enjoy. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about the movie, what you thought about this review, what stood out for you, what you enjoyed. Remember to hit a like on this review as well and share it on your social media. And more than anything else, remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button as well, and see all the great content we have going on here on the Outlaw Nation. And more reviews coming for you this weekend. I've got my review for Summer of Soul coming up as well. Got my Black Widow review coming out. Might be doing a Fast 9 spoiler review because I want to go see it again and then sit down and have a 25-30 minute conversation about the movie, kind of free-flowing conversation about the movie that has spoilers in it. And I'm sure there'll be other trailer reactions and reviews coming as well over the next few days. All right, thank you all so much for watching this review. We'll talk to you next time, and let me know what you think about The Tomorrow War here on the Outlaw Nation.